Donald Trump wanted a military parade. He got it, but what arrived in D.C. wasn't the spectacle he promised. Instead, it was a flat celebration of history, with orphan tanks, scattered crowds, and protests that drowned it out. Some cheered, others called it cringe. But beneath the marches and fireworks, there's a much darker story of an administration trying to play soldier and failing spectacularly. This isn't cable news. This is modern power, falling apart in real time. Let's break down what went wrong, right now, on the Anything History Channel.
Every other country celebrates their victories.
It was June 14th, 2025, Flag Day, Trump's 79th birthday, and he finally got the military parade he's wanted since his first term.
Thanks to their extraordinary service and devotion, 250 years later, America stands tall, America stands proud.
A celebration of 250 years of the U.S. Army, but built specifically for him. The stage was set. 6,600 soldiers, 128 armor vehicles, and giant Abrams tanks rolling past the White House. Historic reenactors, robot dogs, drone flyovers, even face painting for kids. The whole modern meets heritage production. Yet, the result was weirdly flat. Originally estimated to cost between $25 and $45 million, the parade drew far fewer spectators than expected. Sparse crowds, bad signage. Limited amenities turned what should have been a wave of pomp into a trickle of attendance. And while kids marveled at tanks and parents snapped pics, elsewhere across the country, the No Kings protest broke out. Millions of Americans, angry, skeptical, afraid, poured into streets in New York, L.A., Houston, and more, rallying under the simple demand: No King's Day. They saw not a celebration of heroes, but a slide toward authoritarian fanfare. Back in Washington, the scene was jarring. Veterans divided, some calling a heartfelt tribute, others calling it embarrassing or dangerous.
It is a birthday party masked as a military parade.
Is typical of a fascist regime to have a military parade. And so I celebrate the Army and all of our veterans, but I am not in support of a military parade.
I agree that this is something that would happen in North Korea, not in the United States.
You can feel how you want, but Trump's parade is reminiscent of North Korean-style displays and celebrations. Trump stood watching amidst applause, but the echo was distant. Journalists described it as underwhelming cringe. Then things turned ugly. The mood soured in Los Angeles when police tore through No King's protests with tear gas and rubber bullets. One shooting in Minnesota, involving a state lawmaker, dominated headlines and overshadowed the fireworks. The net result? This was supposed to be Trump's show of strength. Instead, it looked more like a political misfire. Expensive, empty, tone-deaf.
This is our country. We didn't ask for the military to be here.
You know, we're cutting spending, we're cutting this, we're cutting that, but then also, you know, putting on a show like this.
Millions of dollars going towards this parade. Why are we not spending that on, veteran benefits? Why is that not going towards therapy?
I could see that argument in a lot of different situations, but it's the 250th birthday.
This parade seems to be very service focused on one person, which is Trump, and it does not seem to be about honoring the military at all.
I don't think too many people are protesting the parade or the Army itself, but maybe the expenses that it's causing and just any personal pride that Trump is trying to get from it and his birthday, but we're really out here for the Army, yeah.
We need to bring back the patriotism in this country, and I think this is a great way to do it.
$45 million being spent on his freaking birthday, okay? In the world of starving children, I'm going to use the word sin. That is sinful. And now they're going to cut the health care of Americans and everything else. We're turning on our allies, including the Aussies. Shame on Donald Trump.
Let's cut to the chase. Trump thought staging a military parade would cement power, show strength, national unity, and command respect. Instead, he got empty stands, protests, flashes of violence, and a giant reminder that the public isn't just watching, they're pushing back. And if you needed more proof this was all for show, cameras caught Trump dozing off mid-parade. Eyes heavy, head dipping, while soldiers marched and bands played. The guy who ordered it all could barely stay awake. You can't make this up. Now here's the real problem. America was never the country that needed to brag about its military might. We've always believed our strength spoke for itself. Quiet power, quiet confidence. But parades like this? That's not quiet. That's loud. That's insecure. And dangerous. Because when you act like the loudest, baddest bully in the room, somebody, somewhere, will take it as a challenge. Maybe not on the battlefield, but through cyber attacks, espionage, or terrorist plots. You provoke the desperate to get creative. Nobody's storming the beaches to face Abrams tanks head-on. But a parade like this, it doesn't intimidate. It inspires resentment. It stokes enemies who work in the shadows. This wasn't just a failed celebration. It was a warning.
I'm just here because I'm feeling really patriotic.
Some may be amused at the soldiers marching, the robot dogs, the so-called overly patriotic. But the real story was, people across the country were saying, no way, not taking this. They're not impressed with parades. They want action, lower prices, real leadership, real solutions. And until Trump delivers those, no amount of tanks, troops, or happy birthday fireworks will fool anyone.
Our democracy is in jeopardy, and we want to speak out while we still can.
Keeping it real, on paper, this celebration might have made sense to the American public if this leader had actually gauged the mood of the nation, maybe even polled for sentiment. This could have been the kind of event we hold every 4 years or so, like a unifying tradition. But instead, one man, driven by his own desire to mimic the parades of dictator regimes, decided to force this moment on the American people, and not just any time, but right in line with his own birthday, during a moment when most of the country is outright rejecting his leadership. All while lives have been lost in recent years, tide political chaos he's helped stir up. This wasn't patriotism. It was narcissism, a complete disregard for the unity we desperately need right now. And honestly, all you can do is watch in amazement as the powerful stumble while trying to flex and keep a straight face, like the world doesn't see that the emperor is standing there, stark naked, under full spotlight. Subscribe, hit like, share this with someone who saw that parade and knew it was all theater, because real history is not the fireworks, it's the backlash. And that backlash is just getting started.